Episode of Locked On Bulls. Locked On Bulls, a member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. And today we are here live to react to the Chicago Bulls drafting Dalen Terry. Now, this is a completely unexpected pick by the Chicago Bulls. Nobody was really expecting this. There were a couple of mocks that had him going to the Chicago Bulls, but most Bulls fans, everybody was focused on EJ Liddell being there, and because he was right there, for a while there um, it looked like the Bulls were even maybe going to have a chance at either Mark Williams or Jalen Duren falling to them, but it actually did not end up happening. The Bulls end up drafting Dalen Terry, completely unexpected, completely left, caught me completely off guard on Chicago Bulls Central. I was live during that pick, and I completely lost my shit when that happened. I'll post that clip. Lost my stuff. This is Locked On. I lost my stuff when that happened, but that will be posted later on. We'll be getting that in at some point in time, but wow. Who would have expected that? I know I didn't expect it. But hey, things don't go the way that we always do. But looking at Dalen Terry after the pick was made, just looking at some of his highlights, looking at some of his clips, looking at what he's able to do. Oh, Pat the designer's in. What's up,
What's
Pat?
up, y'all?
Hold on. What up,
Can
Pat?
you what's going on, man?
What's going on, fam?
That was unexpected.
That was listen. My reaction over on Chicago Bulls Central, like just that clip. I have to find. I don't even know what timestamp that happened in. But bro, I was so shocked at that pick. That's crazy, right?
You could have got him later.
Uh-huh.
If you move the pick, but you also have to have somebody who's going to trade the pick with you.
Mm-hmm.
If AK feels that strongly about him, I'm not mad at you. And based on what we heard that Mark Eversley said, right, he had dinner with him. He felt like he had a really great workout.
Yeah.
The reason that I slowly, as the draft continued, felt better about the pick is no one picked EJ.
Yeah, still to this moment, nobody's picked EJ Liddell.
Walker Kessler went later. Tari Eason went before us, and maybe Tari was the pick that was on their board that they thought if he falls to us, we'll go after him. But
that Pistons trade completely blew up that part of the draft.
Bro, my mind was blown on that as well. Like Woj was tweeting that he was on the Pistons. Shams was on the Knicks. I was confused as heck. I'm like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, because it seems like it was a middle deal. So he did go to the Knicks first, but then he ultimately ended up on the Pistons. But that completely threw off because at that point in time, once Charlotte was there, it looked like you knew Charlotte wasn't going to take too big. So it was like, hey, either Tari Eason, Mark, one of those are going to fall to the Bulls. Once that Pistons pick went down, it completely changed everything. But let's focus on this, right? The Dalen Terry pick. You said it before. AK is high on him, so it makes you give them a little grace. I've watched some highlight with him. I've read some stuff since he's been drafted. It really does seem like between him being on a stacked team and stuff like it really does. You can almost compare it to the Patrick Williams pick in a way. My only issue, not really issue, but my only question with this is now 6'7", a 7'2" wingspan, 195 pounds. He was listed as a point guard / shooting guard. So even if you do move, if you add some weight and you move him to that wing, are we now saying that maybe AK and Eversley do see Patrick Williams as a long-term 4, or is just that Dalen Terry is going to be that they think he's going to be that impact player off the bench for them? What do you think?
I have two concerns right now because of what he is, his length. I don't think that he's on the same level by any means. But my first concern is this a sign that Lonzo Ball is not going to be as healthy as we think, as quick as we think, right? He could come in, play that point guard, and he was a heck of a facilitator. He did a good job facilitating the basketball. Did a good job with
athletic beast as well.
Athletic, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. Here's the thing. No matter what you were getting a glue guy here. He's a glue guy.
Yeah.
No matter what, EJ Liddell, glue guy. You know what I could see him reaching the heights that we hoped EJ Liddell reached. And my high
for EJ would have got there quicker, right?
EJ
like he would have been ready
quicker.
today. Yeah,
EJ would have got there quicker. My high for EJ Liddell was to be a 17-8 player in the NBA.
Just fair.
I could see him being a 17-8 player in the NBA off of the bench, knocking down shots. Do I feel like he's going to do that as quickly? I don't. I personally feel like this is going to be more of a long-term move. As far as him playing the 4, or I'm sorry, as far as him playing the 3, I don't know if that's going to be the move there. The question with that for me is, can his shooting translate to the NBA? If he can come in and he can still be a 40% 3-point shooter, yeah, put him at the 3. He's probably a better defender than DeMar DeRozan already. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, put him at the 3 eventually when we get into that next iteration of team. But for me, the thing about making this pick and that has me not overreacting is the rest of the teams clearly saw something about EJ that knocked EJ out of the first round.
This is true.
And that's the player that we thought we were going to get.
Still yet to be drafted.
Still yet to be drafted. I still got the draft on right here. Jay Billis is literally saying that he's the best talent on the board right now, and he's still yet to be drafted. Other players are going. So teams clearly know something that we don't about EJ Liddell. And on the other side of that, right, like you're looking at a guy who, if he can come out and give you anything close on the defensive end, anything close on the rebounding tip that we said that EJ Liddell can give you off of the bench with, what did we say, a 7'2" wingspan? If he can give you anything close to that and he can knock down the 3 ball at a 40% clip, you might have got the better player in that situation. I don't feel highly about that opinion just yet, but clearly the rest of the NBA knows something.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see EJ Liddell. The fact that he's still not drafted yet is what if the Bulls get EJ Liddell as an undrafted rookie?
That could be the case there. I don't see EJ falling out of the second round. There would have to be something crazy on it. Like if he falls out of the second round, he's got a case.
A case, or there's some injury concerns there. 199 in the chat, by the way. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed to Locked On Bulls. But all right, he can play, right? Like Dalen Terry, looking at his tape, reading things about him, doesn't seem like his ability. Like there are some questions, right? So I read some of his weaknesses. Literally right now, it just seems like he hasn't put anything quite together all the way. They talk about his shooting not being there, talk about some of his struggles with his passing at time, but he does have good passing vision. Seems like he does have good basketball IQ. Footwork needs to be improved a little bit as well there, on screen, stuff like that. But those are things that I see and I read that tell me, hey, guess what? That can be where you can teach somebody foot speed, right? You can't teach somebody all the time basketball IQ. Yeah. So with that being said, like if he has the basketball IQ, he has the physicals there. If you can teach him to use those a little bit better, all right, we may have something.
He's going to be a development piece at a minimum, right? Never, if you were a Bulls fan and you were coming into this and saying that you thought he was going to be a superstar, and anybody that we got here is going to be the next star, right? Like on the other over on the Breeze, Muggs was talking about, the Miami Heat got Nikola Jovic. We missed out on him. He's going to be a star.
I think he's going to be a star, but
we can see. We don't know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't. Maybe that's the one European player that AK missed on late in the first round, and we could have got him. But you weren't getting a star, to me, anywhere near 18 in this draft. This is going to be a very deep draft. I think we're going to see a lot of these players pan out and be nice players in the NBA. But on the other side of that, right, like it's going to be role players. And he's a role player. And guess what? And at 18 in the NBA draft, sometimes you do find role players. Sometimes you do find great talent. But I don't think that this was the draft to find great talent at 18. I think this is the draft to find your glue guy. And I can say that the Bulls, in my opinion, did that. Now, whether he pans into that, but you found a guy that you hope is going to be that glue guy and be able to give you the intangibles of shooting, rebounding, passing, all of that.
Yeah, for sure. Did you know that out of the 2013 draft, none of the top 9 guys started that were selected in that draft are starters in the NBA today, and the best players to come out of the draft were drafted at number 15 and number 27. This is just a weird stat. Sam Smith threw it out today. And I was like, hey, that's interesting.
I will say this: if you peruse the kid's Twitter, he'll make you believe that he's
listen,
a star in the NBA.
Reading his quotes and everything. Hey. He said they asked him, are you going to remember everybody selected over you? Yes. And then he also said there will be a redraft in 10 years. We'll see about it then. I love it. I love it.
I love it. What I'm gonna be mad about? You know what I mean?
I love it.
Hey, Haize been going so hard. He got to drink water on the line, bro. He is stressed right now,
bro. It's been a time, man. Listen, I've been doing this, bro. Now for those that are watching, this is a quick reaction to the draft pick. We actually will be stopping this live and going live again to do a full episode live. So be there for that. We'll actually go into your comments and your questions there in the last segment of that episode. Now, Pat, before we go off with this, before we end this to actually start the full episode and come back on live, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you look at, because you coming into this draft, you said that you thought that they were not going to keep the pick. Do
Yes.
you look at what's happening here? The questions. Jalen Williams just came off the board as well, by the way. Still no Caleb Houston also got drafted before EJ Liddell. But do you look at this as a fail? Do you look at this as a wait and see? Or do you think that there's enough promise here from what you've been able to look at since the pick to say, all right, AK, I see what you're doing? Where do you sit at that right now with Dalen Terry?
AK believes in the picks that he's made previously.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this tells me. Because you didn't panic, you didn't go out and trade for Rudy Gobert. I don't think that you can trade for Rudy Gobert right now, unless you're literally going to give pennies on the dollar, right? Like we had heard that there was possibly a pick of Kobe Vooch. I almost said Jokic. Kobe Vooch, 18, and maybe some other guys on the team that just to sweeten the deal, right? That didn't happen. Now you're holding on to this draft pick. This kid's going to be a Chicago Bull. That means AK believes in Marko Simonovic being your backup big.
That's a good point there too.
That means that AK believes in Patrick Williams being your power forward, small forward of the future. That means that AK believes in the moves that he's made. AK and Mark Eversley, I want to make sure I give both credit. AK and Mark Eversley believe in the moves that they have made on the Chicago Bulls team, and they're not.
Hey,
bro,
you're getting long winded, and you got to go do your other job. I see Nick's texting. Come
on.
Oh
yeah. They're not going to panic based on one thing.
Definitely. But that is it for this quick reaction. We're gonna let Pat go and he has to go do a thing for Locked On. After that, we will be back on live for a full episode of Locked On Bulls. So make sure that you're tuned in. Hit that notification bell, because we'll be doing a full episode breakdown on how we see Dalen Terry fitting on this team and other things on the full episode. Go ahead, Pat. This is a quick episode from Locked On Bulls, a quick reaction. We out here.